Hi, today we are in Palo Alto with Ramesh at Nok Nok Labs. Hi Ramesh, how are you and what do you do?
Hi Martin, how are you doing? I'm fine.
Awesome. What do you do?
We are a company which is focusing on fixing the cybersecurity problem. As you know, uh, strong authentication and cybersecurity is still focused on user IDs and passwords. And if you see the latest online attacks that are happening in the industry, most of them are related to doing a server-side attack and stealing a whole bunch of passwords for various users, and those passwords being used at some other sites to conduct fraud and financial markets and healthcare markets, and these markets are pretty security and privacy centric. If we still are relying on user IDs and passwords, and we're all vulnerable. And with respect to what's happening in the industry right now, unlike earlier days where we were using internet for information access, now internet is being used for lifestyle management. And if we are still trying to build our security based off of user IDs and passwords, which are vulnerable, and also unlike earlier where we used to have only one or two accounts, nowadays we have 15, 20 accounts each. Social networks, banks, financial organizations, online sites, and it is becoming very difficult to keep track of passwords. And so we always normally use two or three passwords
Yeah.
to make our life simple. But when a hacker goes to the server side and harvests a whole bunch of passwords, he will reuse on other financial institutions and then conduct transactions like you and then do the fraud.
Yeah.
So what we focus on is actually how do we do security without actually using user IDs and passwords? How do we eliminate passwords? And we focus on actually selling servers, which will do online security without using passwords. So Nok Nok actually has two components to it. Nok Nok builds servers on a protocol called FIDO, Fast Identity Online. Fast Identity Online is an alliance. It's an open standard building committee body, and that was actually founded by me also. And we, Nok Nok Labs, have donated IP to the alliance. Alliance now in 2009 actually started the work, but we openly went out with FIDO Alliance during RSA conference in 2013 with 6 founding members in FIDO Alliance. And today, 2015, we are about 260, close to 250 companies in the alliance who actually endorse the protocol and contributing to the protocol. And so that alliance, FIDO Alliance, is a non-profit organization. The purpose of the alliance is primarily to define the specs and advance the specs working with the global industry. Nok Nok is the first implementer of the protocol. There are two protocols in FIDO. One is called UAF, other one is called U2F. Nok Nok focuses on UAF protocol, Universal Authentication Framework.
Good.
So the two entities that I was, the FIDO Alliance, I was the one of the 3 founders for FIDO Alliance. But it was initiated by me and another gentleman by name Michael Barrett, the CISO of PayPal, and also another gentleman by name Tahar El Gamal, who was the inventor of SSL. So we started FIDO Alliance. And 2011, I founded Nok Nok Labs.
Okay, interesting. And what is your background actually?
My background, engineering in electronics, and then I came to this country working for IBM as a consultant, primarily in the data security space. And 1995, I started my first services company, and that used to focus on taking the legacy mainframe-based information systems and migrating them to internet and web technologies.
What made you become an entrepreneur?
Just like any other middle-class family in India, I came here after my studies, and being entrepreneurial and wanting to do something unique and wanting something different. We just started out. I found the opportunity when I was working in the mainframe space primarily, and the internet technology evolving. So I found an opportunity to actually take some of those mainframe-based applications and move them to web-based technologies. Found the opportunity and took the opportunity, started my first company. And that company, which was a services company, actually funded my second company, which was a product company. And during those days, I also was a founding member of a company which did the video streaming on the web. When 98 to 99, when people were doing graphics on the web, we went and did the video streaming on the web. Actually, we were one of the first two companies which did that. Okay. And that company was acquired by Akamai. Mm-hmm. And then I also founded another company which did the messaging on the cell phone, like emails and other stuff. So I was one of the first few guys who did the email on the cell phone. And then I was when I joined Phoenix Technologies as the senior vice president. Mm-hmm. During the tenure, I was also part of the CTO Council for Federal Government, advising on cybersecurity and stuff. Mm-hmm. Then I joined a company which was kind of struggling called Validity Sensors, which is a fingerprint company. Mm-hmm. I was I drove the company's product strategy and market strategy, and I turned the company around, and the company became profitable in 4 years. And that company later got acquired by Synoptics. It is during those days what I found was the number of online attacks that are happening, the financial fraud that's happening. Yeah. And also we have interestingly moved from PC-based community to a cell phone-based community where screens are much smaller. And when you want to access stuff from the cell phone, which is touch screens, mm-hmm. using user IDs, passwords is not always good. It's not convenient. It's easy. It's not easy. And incidentally, I was also CTO at a fingerprint sensor company, which actually identifies you without you entering user ID password. And I was trying to see how do we increase the utility of fingerprint. That's when I ran into Michael Barrett, CISO of PayPal. And we started discussing about, here is a big fraud that's happening in the industry, which is a business pain. And here is human pain where people are struggling to enter user IDs and passwords, remembering multiple passwords. The number of accounts is increasing. As long as you try to do security on the internet with the primary infrastructure still based on user ID and password, you're actually not treating the disease, you're treating the symptom. Yeah. So if you really need to fix the problem, fix the disease. And we actually took a step back and say, if we were to do cybersecurity online authentication from a clean slate, how do you do that? Yeah. So that's when I actually, with my team at Validity Sensors, I wrote the protocol, which was the conceptual protocol based on which FIDO was formed. And then we donated that IP to FIDO Alliance. And that's how my fifth company, Nok Nok Labs, got started. Yeah. And till now, we raised about $50 million for the company, Nok Nok Labs. The way what we do is the FIDO Alliance authentication eliminates the passwords. User doesn't have to remember passwords. User doesn't have to type passwords. Server doesn't know passwords. And the model is the user authenticates himself to the device. device then authenticates back to the service.
But how does he authenticate then? Imagine, just walk me through. I'm a normal customer, like an individual, and I want to authenticate. How is the process working until maybe a bank or so?
So if today when you want to try to log on to the bank, you use user ID and password, and that packet gets sent to the server, and and as you are typing and sending, you are vulnerable to too many attacks. It could be phishing attack, it could be man-in-the-middle attack, it can be dictionary attack, or somebody can simply attack the server and get your credentials. In the new model, if you see Apple's iPhone 5 and iPhone 6, Samsung's Galaxy S5 and S6, the fingerprints and facial recognition technologies, iris scanning, is becoming mainstream right now. I mean, earlier we had the cost issues and quality issues. Now those things are coming together where now fingerprinting, iris technology, facial recognition technology is mature, and it is deployable at mass scale, and costs also have come down dramatically. And thanks to iPhone, they have embraced fingerprinting, and then they made fingerprinting a mainstream technology now.
But does it mean that you mainly focus on mobile security, or is it also that you're doing desktop or tablet?
Same infrastructure will be used by both PC and cell phone and tablet, whatnot. So the way it works is you authenticate yourself to the device using a fingerprint or a facial recognition technology or something, and then there is a process. If you are a user of the bank, currently you use user ID and password. Next time when you have a FIDO enabled phone or a FIDO enabled PC, you go and log on using your user ID and password. Server then recognizes that you have a FIDO components, infrastructure on a device, and then it walks you through a registration process. That registration process is simply you looking into the camera, or speaking a phrase, or touching the sensor, a single touch, or a single phrase, or a single blink, any of these things, gestures. You do that, and during that period, there will be some cryptographic exchange that happens between the client and server. And the cryptographic signatures are generated on the client and then sent to the server. I don't want to get into too much detail, but there is a public key, private key kind of a security infrastructure. The keys get generated on the client, and the public key gets sent to the server for that user, for that device. From that moment onwards, any authentication that happens between the server and the client is based off of those cryptographic signatures on a challenge response basis. So when you next time when you want to authenticate to the user, the service or a bank that you were talking about, you simply go to the bank site, and then you touch the finger or look into the camera, single phrase, then that response for the challenge that server throws at the device gets generated, and that's how you get authenticated.
Is there a way to game this? For example, imagine I would know that this mobile phone is attached to Ramesh. Yeah? And by the way, I had a photo of Ramesh, which I would put in front of the camera. This might be used for the facial recognition, voice. Okay, maybe something else.
So the security is always an arms race.
Yeah.
The current problem and addressing a security problem also depends on what kind of security problem you are addressing. Today, if you see majority of attacks that happen on the network cybersecurity, most of them, the hackers don't have motivation to attack one person. What they want to do is to go back to a site like Yahoo or LinkedIn, Gmail, go to a site where they can get hundreds of millions of user accounts, eBay attack.
Yeah, right.
So when you have user IDs, passwords at that scale, then they will that the advantage they get is much bigger. In FIDO, it has to be a targeted attack if the really hacker wants to attack, because you not only have to have my picture or my fingerprint, you also have to steal my device.
Understood. I mean, I totally understand that it makes the authentication process safer. Totally understood.
Safer, simpler.
Yeah. Imagine I want to really hack a company. Maybe then I wouldn't try to do the hack via this authentication, but I just would like to hack the database, because there the companies will still have the personal identifiable information.
Right. In the current scenario, you're right. The hackers are motivated to hack the server side, not the device.
Yeah.
When you are attacking the server side, in the old model, you get user ID and password. So it's easy.
Yeah.
In the new model, when you attack the server, all you get is bunch of public keys. You won't be able to do anything with that.
Okay.
You got to have private keys.
Okay, cool.
The private keys are stored on the client side. So you are actually turning the authentication process upside down. You are not providing a single point of attack for somebody in remote places. Like there were press releases last year where a Russian hacker group has 1.2 billion account information from United States and all over the globe.
Okay.
1.2 billion accounts.
Wow.
That is how they harvested the whole thing. In this model, when they go and try to steal secrets from the server, there are no secrets on the server anymore. All they have is public keys.
Okay.
You won't be able to do much with public keys.
Ramesh, what are the major customers of Nok Nok Labs?
So, like I was mentioning earlier, the FIDO Alliance has two components. FIDO protocol has two components. There needs to be a client component, there needs to be a server. So, unless there is a client, you don't have business for the server side.
Right.
Nok Nok makes money selling servers. Our first deployment was with PayPal. PayPal has used Nok Nok servers. And we worked with Samsung, where we actually put the FIDO clients on the mobile phones of Galaxy S5 and S6. Now, the next deployment of FIDO, of Nok Nok server is with Alipay in China, where again, same story. We provided the servers to them, and Samsung phones and other phones that they chose to use, where they deployed FIDO, they could use it. The latest one that we deployed was Docomo entity.
Who's that?
Docomo, Japan.
Okay.
Mobile. That's one of the biggest carrier in Japan. They have close to 65 million subscribers. And Docomo has embraced FIDO at one go. The entire Docomo ID infrastructure now uses password and uses Nok Nok server and completely eliminate passwords. If you are using Docomo services now, using Docomo phones, there are no passwords. You simply either look into the camera. They have actually deployed a fingerprint. They have actually deployed a iris scanning. It works seamlessly. We never had an issue. We deployed it in May. So the first three major customers are these three that we work. As you can see, it is not normal for a small startup company to go after companies like Docomo, PayPal, Alipay as their first customers.
Definitely.
And also deploy at the scale that we deployed, which is at very high consumer scale.
Cool. And how's the revenue model working?
So, like I was mentioning earlier, client is free. We initially, with the first version of FIDO, we did the client ourselves. But Microsoft is part of FIDO Alliance now. And they actually have announced recently that Windows 10 will have FIDO infrastructure in there when 2.0 spec is published. And Snapdragon, Qualcomm has announced that they embraced FIDO. ARM is part of FIDO. You can actually go to FIDOalliance.org and see the members. You can see how many members have been there. Now, Nok Nok has also enabled iPhone 5 and iPhone 6 to use FIDO infrastructure, and we have support for that. And we basically, as we are going, we expect the client side um, uh, will be embraced by the operating system people like Microsoft, Google, Apple kind of people. And we basically focus on selling servers. We have a multi-factor authentication server that we sell to the people, we deploy to the people. We don't host any service. We sell servers. It's an enterprise sale. And if you're Docomo, if you're a financial institution, if you're Bank of Germany, what you simply do is buy the server from us, use our SDK to deploy your mobile app or a browser plugin, and you're ready to go.
Why did you choose to do the selling mode only and not like SAP, for example, doing a sales and service model?
We actually a product company, and just like SAP, the only difference, the major difference between conventional ERP companies and this is ERP is a full application is what they provide. We are in infrastructure business. We don't sell application. We sell infrastructure. So our server will have to go and integrate with some of the existing applications. Like for instance, SAP can deploy our server. SAP has various kind of applications that they sell. Workflow, process management, supply chain. There are various things that they sell. All of them currently use user IDs and passwords to get in. Now SAP can choose to embrace FIDO and then buy a Nok Nok server. And now all SAP applications can be of password free.
Ramesh, imagine a child comes to you, a younger one like 15, 16, and wants to start a company, but he doesn't know whether he should do it or what he should care for. What is your advice that you would share with him?
At any time, any opportunity or any business gets generated out of pain. If you are able to identify either business pain or human pain, and you have a solution for that, that's the starting point. People don't go to CVS and Walgreens to buy vitamins; they go to buy painkillers. When there is a pain, people want to address that immediately. If there is a vitamin, they don't. When they have time, they will go there. That's not priority. So when you want to start a company, first you need to know. You don't necessarily need to know detail. You don't necessarily need to know how to fix it, but you should be able to know that there is a pain. Coming back to the pain point, it has to either fix the human pain or it has to fix the business pain. If it can do either one of them, like for instance, security. When security was a pain, people recognized it. You have tokens, USB tokens come in, online tokens come in, one-time password tokens come in, smart cards come in, all kinds of things. That actually complicates the user experience.
Right.
But it solves a business pain.
And then you have a trade-off.
That's a trade-off. What FIDO does is, conventionally, more security means unusable. Unusable in the sense difficult to use. I shouldn't say unusable, difficult to use. If you want to make sure that I am strong, I keep on asking you more questions. What is your dog's name in 1972? This is the kind of things that we get asked. When you go to a financial institution, they'll ask your social security number and they'll say, what is your childhood's best friend's name? These are all passwords, nothing but, you keep on adding this stuff. So what it means by that is, if I really want to assert that who you are, then I ask you more questions, put you through so much pain. What Nok Nok and FIDO do is, we provide more security, at the same time make it very, very usable. It's for me, on an iPhone, typing a password is much more difficult than just doing this. Done. And done. So what we do is, we actually increase the security, also make it extremely usable. That's why I keep throwing the words like a single touch, or a single phrase, or a single blink. So we make it more stronger, at the same time extremely usable.
What do you say to the young person if he says, actually, I cannot identify a problem worth solving?
Then there is no company to be built.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're solving. If you are trying to do something without solving a problem, then there is no company there. Even if you want to start a non-profit charitable organization, it still solves some problem, which is helping people.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ramesh, for your time.
So no problem.
And next time, when you really want to start a company, don't just start a company. Focus on a problem and really identify that is a big problem that is worth solving. And if you don't find a problem, just start at a company, work your way through, and maybe over the time you will find a problem that is worth solving.
That's how most other things get started.
Right.
Unless you go through the pain, you won't know the problem. And anybody who is young, I would first strongly recommend those people to actually work some places if they don't have any idea. Like when big companies, even Dell was started in UT Austin by Michael Dell, where he saw that people needed computers and it's difficult to go out and get them. He started online. So it doesn't have to be that you have to work or you don't have to work. You just have to feel the pain.
Yeah.
If you see the pain, and that pain should not be unique to you, it should be a general pain.
Yeah.
And you're fixing the general pain, then you have a company to start with.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And good luck with Nok Nok Labs.
No problem. Thank you so much.